Your brain is constructing a life narrative inside of your head. It dumps 99% of your memories and it fills in the gaps with your narrative, with hallucination memories. But even when you're awake, you are walking in a hallucination, according to your brain. You're walking in a dreamlike world, a world in which you rarely see what's really there, and instead you fill it in with what you saw on CNN. God is in your face 24/7, but your blinders are on, and you're looking at your life from a particular worldview, and that worldview determines whether or not you're going to be able to see or hear whatever it is that's coming your way. So if you're ready to take those blinders off, I'm going to warn you that you could go down this rabbit hole and felt like you've jumped into an ocean. And so I recommend that you pray first. You might need to pray with your eyes closed because you'll find out that when you pray with your eyes open, it's 10,000 times more intense after what we're about ready to talk about. God is the author of your life. He writes your life like a great story. You have a narrative around your life that God is very much aware of what it is that you can see and not see. From the perspective of God, from God's perspective, are dreams less real than your life? Biblically speaking, the dreams are just as real as this life. They're just as real. God gives a dream to Nebuchadnezzar when John the Revelator is having visions, and they're very symbolic. Whatever it is that you think is going on in those dreams and visions. It's all symbolism. It's not literal, whatever you think. From God's perspective, it's just as real. It's just as solid as this table. It's just as solid as everything that you see. And to back me up what I just said, 99% of what you remember is a hallucination constructed from your life narrative. So it's not very hard to believe that these dreams are a lot more real than your pastor would suggest. So much so that you could lose your mind when you understand how real your dreams actually are. So, symbolism. So any pastor who's come to you and goes, all right, Revelations, it's not really a beast. It's the Antichrist. These are not really horns. These are the 10 churches. It's not really the dragon. It's the devil. If you take them seriously, which you should, because there's some truth to what they're saying, recognize that when you're awake, I mean, awake like we're awake right now, supposing that this isn't a dream, the same rules apply. The same rules apply. Your waking life can be interpreted like revelations. This is the truth. You have God speaking to you, not just through your dreams, not just through visions, which we can interpret and understand past, present, and future. But while you're awake, the dragon, the beast, there's symbolism. There's a constant flow. Every single thing that happens in your life, you can interpret it as if it were a dream from the Bible. But if you own an animal, think about why you own a cat or why you have a dog. If you look on your walls in your house, I've said this in past streams, read your walls like you're reading a dream. Anybody know about dream interpretation? Look at the biblical versions. Use that as a guide. But if you're not into that and you want to go science, look up Carl Jung. Look up all the psychologists who've been studying this stuff for years. You can look at all of this stuff and recognize that your waking life, whatever direction you look at, every bit of it is a vision. All of it. All of it. You are having a prophetic dream that tells past, present, and future of your life right now. Everybody. You know how people say you got to see it to believe it? Once you see it, it's hard to unsee it. It's like being unplugged from the Matrix. If you recognize that you're having an ongoing vision from God right now, in the moment, you don't got to wait till you go to bed. But when you do go to bed, you're also having visions. And at every turn, you are getting messages from God. If you can keep your sanity, It means you've got the Holy Spirit. But it is possible to see it even if you don't know God. It's just you won't be sane after. The sanity, the order that comes with it comes from God. So what I'm telling you guys is you guys are all on your own journey. And many people have dabbled in the paranormal. They've dabbled in demons. They've dabbled in all of this stuff. But there is no power greater than God. And I don't just mean this as a Christian. I don't mean this as a Jew. I don't mean this in any other way than the fact of the matter is the one God above all of that stuff. He is in you. And you know what's really cool about this past, present, and future monotheistic thing? I'm about ready to blow your mind some more. The past version and the future version of you are with you too. You don't just carry the past versions of you. You don't just carry your memories. God also sees you for your future self. He's in all times at once, the Alpha and Omega. He sees your past versions and your future versions. And you, all of these different versions of you, simultaneously, as one. This is what it means to believe that God is the Alpha and Omega. This is what it means to believe that you're a monotheist rather than a polytheist. It's possible to communicate to your past and future selves. It is. I'm not talking about reincarnation either. But yes, you can have a Christmas Carol kind of experience with God where you can see the ghost of Christmas present and the ghost of Christmas past and the ghost of Christmas future. Except for it's not the Christmas spirit that's doing it. It's the Holy Ghost that's doing it. This can happen to you. What this body is, it's like an egg. You are in a cocoon. This life is like a cocoon. And you are under constant siege of transformation. A caterpillar transforms rapidly. And in doing so, I'm sure, from the caterpillar's perspective, if the caterpillar thought like a human, they might think they've got a disease. They might think, oh, I'm dying. Or they might think that, oh no, my cocoon is cracking. Oh no, my... But really, on the other side of that cocoon is the butterfly the caterpillar was destined to be. You're like a caterpillar crafting a cocoon. And you're going to look at your cocoon and you're going to think that the cocoon is the devil. You're going to think that, oh my goodness, I'm in this cocoon and I'm having all these transformations and I'm never going to be the same again. And it can be painful. But on the other side of that, you are a butterfly. You are a butterfly. And then there's some people that might go, I don't believe in that. I believe I'm just a caterpillar. I believe I'm a caterpillar and this cocoon is all that's real in life. If you have seen the other side, if you understand the nature of who you are, if you know who you are, it's a lot more difficult for the devil or anybody else to attack you. You are a caterpillar destined to be a butterfly. It's more than just being saved. You're not just being saved. God is transforming your life. And on the other side of that, you will be greater than you were before. But a lot of the times when things happen, it sucks. It's like the dam breaks. But on the other side of that is a resurrection. A resurrection of your life. A new chapter in your life. And that new chapter can end up being 10 times more awesome than the previous chapter. But sometimes it requires for things to come to an end. This is God's plan. This is the plan of our life. This is a story that was written before we were born. We are a part of it. And there's foreshadowing to all of this. And when you look back, they say hindsight's 20/20. You can see why things are happening. We've already established that whether you believe in God or not, you are in a waking dream, my friend. What's that mean? You are in a lucid dream. I just told you that you're dreaming. You know you're dreaming. That means it's a lucid dream. What's that mean? Does that mean you have full control over it and you're God? Not exactly. But now that you know that you're dreaming, and you know that every single thing that you see except for 1%, is a projection from your brain. Not actually what you see, but it's actually a projection if you believe in your brain. I'm saying it's more than your brain. The author of your life has established a narrative where even when you're looking at the past, you only see 1% of your past. That's why we talked about before that you can change your past. If you guys want to see a really cool live stream later on, I'm going to make a video out of it. I talk about how you can change your past. It is possible. Your experience of your past is not the full truth. It's just not. And it's tangible. So you have a hallucination going backwards in time. Look at your life and start to realize how much of this you can interpret as a dream. You have symbols all around you. If you want to interpret your life like a dream, look at the symbols that are in your life. If you own cats, if you own dogs, if you watch the Bears, if you're a Chiefs fan, whatever it is, whatever sports team, that symbol is trying to tell you something about what's going on in your life. Now I'm about ready to unload what the bear symbol means. Anybody here know what the bears and the bulls actually mean? So the bulls and the bears refer to the market. And they also refer to moon cycles, the bear moon and the bull moon. The bull moon is when the moon is looks like a bull. And the bear moon is when the halo is going downward. So when the halo is going upward like bull horns, that's a bull moon. And when the halo is going downward, that's a bear moon. And what they say in the markets, all of this stuff is connected because God is speaking to us through all this stuff. So if you guys are in the stock market, if you're not into sports, you got the bear market, go Bears. And the bull market, go Bulls. What's happening in the bull market? Prosperity. Lots of people investing out the wazoo. What's happening for the Chicago Bulls when they're doing good? The market is good. It's the 1990s. Great economy. What happens when the Bears are usually good? Usually it's after a decline or the coming of a decline in the economy. You guys seen The Jungle Book? Look for them bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Bears are defensive. They're not on the offensive. When there's a bear market, everybody's on the defense. Everybody's trying to save their investments from going down the toilet. Everybody's playing defense with their stocks, playing defense with all of that. It's defense, defense, defense. That's what's going on with the bear market. When there's a bull market, it's all about scoring points. It's all about putting everything in, going on margin, lighting it up. Like the bulls. I gave you guys a stock market example. This is how you read. You can read this. If you happen to be a Bears fan, you understand. You have eyes to see and ears to hear. You start to understand what God's saying. What games have you been playing lately? What movies have you been watching lately? Open your eyes. Take a look at it. Take a look at it. You will be surprised. There's symbolism, the things that have been themes throughout your entire lives, the things that you're overlooking. You could say your mom always loved cows. Why? You can say my mom always was into elephants, or whatever it is. Pay attention. God's trying to tell you something. And sometimes it takes a lifetime for you to hear, that's why my mom was into elephants or cows. That's why I'm a Bears fan. That's why this is happening. God will spend 30 years on you, telling you the same thing over and over and over again until you hear it. But what I'm suggesting to you guys is to look at the things that are themes in your life, the symbols around you. If you look at my walls, you can see white back here. I don't put a lot on my walls anymore. There's a reason, and why my walls are white a lot, because I'm reflecting. It's like I'm looking into a mirror. So look at the colors of your walls. Every bit of it. Every single bit of it. God has given you a vision of your past, present, and future. Look at your walls. What colors are they? This is simple. You don't even have to be a fan of the Bulls. You don't have to be a fan of the Bears. You don't even have to be a fan of the Jets to get this. What colors are your walls? Well, I've lived in many different houses. How about right now? Look around you right now. You can set the phone down. Take a 360 view of the room that you're in. How much light is coming through it? Are the windows open? How clean do you keep your house? How much chaos is in your life? These kinds of things go hand in hand. God is constantly telling you a message like mine, but better. They're like 1%. I'm giving you 1%. God's giving you 100% at all times. All I'm doing is just pointing you guys in the direction to look, which is right in front of you. Look at everything that you own and ask yourself, what kind of baggage does that represent? It's not just physical baggage. It's mental baggage. It's psychological baggage. Every physical thing that you own represents a thought of yours. Every physical thing that you own is a symbol in your life that God is speaking through. And sometimes if you believe in the devil, it could be the devil. Right? But everything that you own, every bit of it, I don't care what it is. When you're inside your house, I've said this before, you're looking inside your heart. But even if you walk outside into the light or a cloudy day, it doesn't stop. Just like I said, when you say amen, you don't hang up the phone. Just because you leave your house, it doesn't mean you've left your mind. It doesn't mean God isn't talking to you. So you leave your house. What happens in your day? Who was it that made you mad yesterday? Who was it? What happened that's stressing you out and why? What does it mean? What's the parable of the car? The parable of the job? The parable of my neighbor? God speaks in parables. Jesus says, for those with eyes to hear and to see, this is why I speak this way. He wasn't just talking about like Jesus in the Bible. Jesus is still speaking to us through parables. Read them. This is not witchcraft. This is monotheism. I predict that there's a good amount of people here that like cats. Cats are powerful symbols. It doesn't mean that a cat's necessarily negative or positive, but cats are very strong symbols. You see cats in dreams a lot. When you watch The Matrix and a black cat, deja vu crosses your path twice, they say it's bad luck. It's not bad luck. But a cat says something about what you're not doing and what you are doing. A monk left his wife and kids to become a monk. And on his way, on his journey, he came across the town and he was begging for money, begging for food. And the people in town said, hey, we're going to give you a house. So they gave him a house, and the monk's like, all right, I'll take the house. But while he was living in that house, some rats started to appear. And the monk went to the people in the house like, hey, I'm living in this house you gave me. How do I get rid of these rats? They're destroying my clothes. And he didn't have this problem before because he didn't have a house. He just had the clothes on his back. Well, now all of a sudden, he's got this problem that these rats are coming in and eating out his robe. And the people in the village said, here's a cat. And he's like, all right, I'll take the cat. And the cat took care of was killing the rats. Next thing you know, the cat gets hungry. And then he has to beg for milk along with food for himself. People in the village says, hey, we'll give you a cow. All right, to get the milk for the cat. So he gets a cow. And he's starting to realize this is a lot of work here, taking care of this cat and this cow and this house. And he goes to the villagers and asks the villagers, well, what else? How do I take care of all this and be a monk still? And so what you need is a good maid. You need someone to come in here. We're going to provide you with a maid to take care of your cow and your cat and clean your clothes. Well, after so much time went by, the monk fell in love with a maid. And they had kids. And before you know it, the monk was right where he started. Did you follow me? Right where he started. He left his family to become a monk. And lo and behold, the cycle started all over again. Starting with, he had nothing but the clothes on his back. Got the house, the rat problem, got the cat. Cat needed milk, got the cow. He needed help taking care of that. They provided him a maid, and lo and behold, he ended up having kids, and he left his wife and kids to go produce more wife and kids. How's that? That's a cool story. That gives you a little bit of secret about what's going on with that cat. The cat in your life. Think about what the cat represents in Egyptian mythology. Think about what that means. In your dreams, cats are very feminine. Can I edit my dream? You can't edit the dream exactly how you want. A lot of people try it in the New Age kind of thing, or the manifestation. There is some truth to this. You do have some free will. But ultimately, it's God's dream. And all of this has been determined before you were born. What you should be thinking about is look at the foreshadowing of your life. Look at where it's going. Jesus knew, being both God and man, that he would be betrayed by Judas and he'd be put on the cross. When you're in your life and you come across challenges, you have some choices to make. You can either take a leap of faith, a wild leap of faith, or you can play defense. You can either take a bear's position, take defense, or you can go on the offensive. But no matter which side you go, it's going to be a blunder if you don't rely on God. You cannot defend anything that you own. It all could be lost, like Job. And you cannot successfully walk on water unless you're looking in the direction of Christ. But what I will say is that you can take giant leaps of faith forward if it's in the direction of God, and no matter what, it will work out. It'll look like a miracle. And it might very well be miraculous to others to see. What do you guys think a miracle actually is? I've had a pastor I've talked to recently, and I know I may have said this already. He believed that the only thing that counts as a miracle is materializing something from nothing. And nothing else is a miracle. And I disagree with that. Because just being alive is a miracle. And I was like, no, it's not. It's science. No, it's not. Science doesn't explain why you're you. Science doesn't explain how you're experiencing the life in first person. Even if you think you're your brain, it doesn't explain first person consciousness. Because if you're just your brain, you'd be a machine and you wouldn't actually be experiencing the world at all. It's an absolute miracle that you are in first person right now. At all. If there's any kind of consciousness in the universe whatsoever, of any kind, that is a total miracle. All of this is a miracle. When you acknowledge the miracles that God has put before you in your life, you start to see more of them. It starts with the spirit of thanksgiving and a recognition how miraculous this actually is. I'd like to thank all the people who haven't been born yet who are watching this stream. All the people who are watching this years and decades after I've done this live stream, let you know that if I have passed away, I see you. And I'm with you and God's with you. And I'm watching. I'm in heaven eating Cheetos watching your life right now if I'm dead. I'm in heaven eating Cheetos watching your life if you're watching me decades later. Whether you're my kids or my grandkids or friends or family or fans. Entertain me, please. Why do I say that everyone sees this? Luke chapter 8 verses 7. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that should not be known. And it says it again in Luke chapter 12, and it says it again in Revelations. And it says it again in Mark. And it says it in the Old Testament too. There's like 20 or 30 verses over and over and over again. Which if you believe in that, it means that every time you put on a performance of any kind, everybody sees it. Even if you're taking a crap. Watch your diet. But definitely perform as if you've got infinite people watching. Because you do. And when they play this back for your relatives of the past or the people that have not been born yet or watching your stuff, you're going to be really embarrassed. And you're going to need God's grace to get through it. But you're going to be really, really happy that you put your real heart and soul into it. Like, yes, I put on a good show. And even when I'm not live anymore, Eldon Smith, live or live streaming, I will see what you guys are up to, and I will know you well. And when I cut this stream off, guys, when it's time to be over, which is soon, I want you to know that the stream continues. According to the Bible, if I go out and I continue my day, even when I'm not on Rant Jams Live, it's still Rant Jams Live. The show continues for everyone in heaven. And maybe for those in hell too. The show must go on, guys. And every bit of it is a performance. It's like the Truman Show times a billion. Some people, the reason why you like the Truman Show, have you guys seen that, is because it's true. It should be called the true show. Live your life as if you have a giant audience. Every play of your game, whether it be a sports game or whatever it is, don't throw those interceptions. And if you do, you've got to do everything you can to win that game. And winning that game does not mean beating your opponent. It means making it to God's end zone. I explain a lot of things in plain English for believers and non-believers of how dreams work and how you can hear and experience the divine while you're awake and you're always having visions. And it's super cool. If you own a cat, a dog, you have a sports team, whatever you've got, all of those things are signs in your life. Read them. Read them like you're reading Nostradamus. Do better than Nostradamus. Do it like Daniel. But at least start at the Nostradamus level. Hebrews 12:1, there's a cloud of witnesses. Know this, that you are in a situation where you're dreaming while you're awake. This is a lucid dream because I told you it's lucid. If you didn't know it, then you wouldn't know it. I'm telling you straight up. You're dreaming.